Hello boys and girls, welcome to BenchART, I'm for Classic, and let me welcome you to FIFA 22, a game developed by EA Canada, and it is using Frostbite free. And so, just like the latest years of FIFA, this is still running more and less with the same performance, so I'm using in here the Intel UHD 620, and I have decided to test the game with two different settings. So both of them are 720p using the low settings, but one I'm using the DX12, which is the default which the game starts, and the second one it is DX11, which in order for you to boot the game with DX11 you need to tweak a file. So I will leave you instructions in the description of the video on what you need to change to boot the game with DX11, and you might want to do that because there is an incredible boost in performance, especially during gameplay. You can expect like a boost in performance of 10 frames per second. So the game for the majority of the time it runs above 60, not entirely though, and cutscenes, well, they do drop to under than 30 frames per second, sometimes even reaching 15 frames per second, alright? But it's really on the gameplay that the X11 makes it better. The only downside is that when you start the game needs to build its shader cache, so it spends a lot of time with the CPU at 100%. And so when that happens, it really performs worse than the X12. But as soon as the shader cache it is generated on the background, the CPU returns to normal and you can enjoy a better performance than the DirectX 12 version of the game. So the second suggestion that I do have is for you to have 16 gigs of RAM in dual channel. It is important for this game if you are using an Intel GPU to play. But yeah, it's perfectly playable, unfortunately, for the reason that this game it is still on the older version, which means that this is a port from PS4 and Xbox One, and not the version inside the PS5, Xbox Series, or Google Stadia. So now that I've talked a little bit about the performance, and in any case, if you have any doubt about the performance or anything like it, just leave on the comment section of the video, because now I will talk a little bit about the current situation of the soccer games on the PC and how it is FIFA 22 on the PC. So let's go. Well, regarding the game, unfortunately the PC this year it isn't really very well served when it comes to football games or soccer games, depending where you live. So FIFA, unfortunately, it is still using the old gen version. This is the same version that it is running on the PS4 and also the Xbox One consoles. And next generation FIFA, which is the one with hypermotion that they marketed all along the launch of this FIFA 22, it is only available for PS5, Xbox Series, and curiously enough, Stadia, which is kind of a good news because I will explain it further. So why EA is giving us the old version of FIFAs instead of giving us the next generation FIFA version? So it have been kind of an excuse for EA, because every time there is a new console, EA always do this, which is the first years of the release of the new consoles, the PC version, it is always the old version instead of the newest one. Their excuse it's because they say that the majority of the people don't have PCs that match the PS5 and Xbox Series. And in fact they are true, it is true, but that's why there is graphical settings inside the games for you to tweak around. So I'm not really sure why they are doing this. I don't think that this is a good idea, but they have been doing this all along. It was the same when the PS3 was released, it was the same when the PS4 was released, and now it is again the same when PS5 and Xbox Series was released. We are having a worse product because it is the same product as the PS4, and so it also means that we don't get stuff like the hypermotion and all the benefits that the newest FIFA have. So the difference between FIFA 22 and 21 are mostly just, some cosmetic changes, some new faces, I guess, and even that I don't really know, new menus, new tracks, but the majority of the game should be pretty much the same. Alright, so that's disappointing. Although I did told you about that the next generation version, it is also available on Stadia. Oh yeah, Stadia, that product that was supposed to be ended dead already from Google. It is actually receiving new games, not newer but ports from old games, strong support from Ubisoft, and this time around the next generation version of FIFA 22. So in case you want to play the next generation FIFA on the PC, it is still possible, although you need to play it through Stadia, which means that it is more expensive, so it should cost you the same price as a game on the console. It should be around $69.99. But the good thing is that if you have kind of a bad PC, for example, if you have a PC with an Intel GPU, or if you have an RTX 3090, it will perform the same for all the people. Because Stadia, you will be playing through streaming, which means that it is the servers from Google that are processing the game, and you are just a client. Of course, that brings bad things about it, like there is an increased input lag. Some people do notice, some people don't. And obviously, you can notice a compression of the video streaming when you are playing. I've been playing a little bit with Stadia, not FIFA though, but other games. And my experience with Stadia have been great. And especially if you are a low-end gamer, just like you that you are watching this video, if you have an MX 130 or a GT 940 MX, Stadia, it is a nice product for games that you can't barely play in your system. Stadia actually runs the games pretty fine. I still think that GeForce Now does a better job, but specifically for FIFA 22, Stadia, it is the only version of the streaming services where you can play the next generation version of FIFA 22. So in case you are willing to try and you want to have this next generation version of FIFA, you can use Stadia for that, or you just need to buy the PS5 or an Xbox Series console, or just don't buy FIFA. That's it. And that said, that this is a bad year for PC because, as you know already, Pro Evolution Soccer, the newest one, which is the eFootball 2022, have been an awful game, very bad received. The only good thing about it, it's because it's free to play, you don't need to pay anything for it. But all the rest of the game, it is very different and bad. So it have been very bad received. So it's a dark year for soccer or football games on the PC, since we are stuck with this old version and the football is just simply bad, or at least most of the users don't really enjoy the game. So guys, I think that's all that I want to talk about FIFA 22. Hope you keep enjoying the rest of the video, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.
Really good high press. Lukaku. And with that, the attack fizzles out.
PSG, as you can see, have not enjoyed that much possession, but when they have had it, they've looked so dangerous, particularly when they press high up the field, win the ball back in those areas, and then counter-attack quickly.
Neymar. And a fine tackle. Lukaku. Just too much on that pass. Verratti. They've won back possession. N'Golo Kanté. Now with Jorginho. Lukaku. Pulisic. Chilwell. Ball lost by Chelsea. And the conditions look pretty good for the counter-attack. They need to get bodies back. Well, not to be in terms of the counter-attack. Well, no degree of difficulty for the goalkeeper. So 2 minutes of stoppage time here. Lukaku. And winning it back. So the whistle then. We're up the halfway stage in this match. "45 minutes separating these two sides from glory. The second half of the Champions League final begins. Losing possession a bit easily. Mbappe into the middle. Well, dealt with that ball comfortably. Jorginho. Chilwell. Romelu Lukaku now. Well, they're moving the ball neatly enough. Just looking for that decisive pass. Well, it was a risky challenge, but brilliantly executed. Neymar. Now with Messi. Wijnaldum. Body on the line. Denied again. Verratti. Well, he's thwarted him almost effortlessly. Well, there might well be scope for them to counter-attack here. Well, it fizzled out. Mbappe. Attacking possibilities for PSG. Messi. Just couldn't capitalise there. Well, we're into the final half hour. Chilwell. Can they hit on the break? All in all, a broken counter-attack. Well, high marks for that pass. What can Chelsea do from this position? Lukaku. Pulisic. Not quite the clearance they were hoping for. Well, they can't quite take advantage in the end. Lionel Messi. Now with Hakimi. And the cross is very much on. And they deal with the threat this time. Just 20 minutes remaining now. Breaking at pace.
Well, Chelsea have had so much possession, as you can see, but they've shown a real lack of invention today. One or two of their more talented players need to step up now to get them back into this game.
Well, he stopped them in their tracks. Wijnaldum unable to keep it. Lukaku. Mount. Potential danger. He just needs to keep a cool head. Well, fantastic reflex action from the goalkeeper. Bernat. Verratti. Messi. And just narrowly wide.
Well, it's a good effort from that range, but I think the keeper had it covered.
Well, both teams have had substitutes warming up, and now both will rely on their respective benches. Lukaku. Well, as we approach full-time, Paris Saint-Germain absolutely coasting to victory, Stuart.
Well, they've been much the better side up to now. Some of their approach play has been excellent. They just need to control possession for these final few minutes to cap off a really good display.
And threading it forward. Credit to them for winning back possession.